Good morning, guys. Today it is February 13, 2017, and bunch of plays up today on pre-market scanners for me today. One of the ones I particularly like is RCON. Now, RCON does have a history of spiking, with good range. I mean, this one, 121 to 179. This one was 104 to 193, so nearly a 100% move on that one. So why I'm looking at it today? Today they actually just came up with a press release about their earnings. So as soon as the press release came out, pre-market it went up. Right now, pre-market, it is not doing much. The volume is pretty low. There's only 4,000 shares. But I feel like if once the market opens and it starts dipping a little bit and, people see it, it does have potential. Pre-market high right now is 171. It's a possible buy on a break of pre-market high for a push towards 2. But there is also not much short interest on the shortsqueeze.com. Plus, there is it's high on RSI. So, a couple things that are kind of like maybe I'll just kind of watch it on the sideline. Not really interested in it right off the bat. Second thing I'm looking at is Sino. Now, Sino, most of the traders know this as a stock that has a habit of making major moves. In the past it has gone from 345 or actually below, even below 2 all the way up to 1420 in 2 days. So it does have high potential of running. What I don't like about it right now, as you guys can see on the 5-minute, pre-market is looking very, very it's just basically downtrending in pre-market, so it's forming this trend line here, and it's just kind of staying below that. I'm just gonna move this down a bit to the 355s. Low of this 355. The markets are gonna open here pretty soon, so the float of this is 2.97 million. It's a previous supernova. It could be a potential runner. The RSI on it is 64. Pre-market high is 407. Some support in the 350s. So what I'm looking for is a volume and a break of the 380 range, which is right here. So break of this, or dip buy, and then it holds some support and it starts coming back up on a red to green move. I'll look to get into that and then look for a push. So markets are gonna open, guys. I'm just gonna set my start setting my order here. So 200. Again, guys, we're just watching. We don't need to jump into anything right away. Markets are doing good today. Everything is in green, the futures and stuff. So as you guys can see, it is dipping pre-market. Or sorry, not pre-market, right at the market open. Right now it's in the 340s. So we'll just continue watching, see what happens. KBSF is running pretty rich. It's in the 14s now, actually. So as you guys can see, it's dropping, nothing much happening on here. So it opened at 352. High of 360. One potential entry would be a break of 360. Right, jump in for the break of 360. So again, I'm looking to get in 300 shares for the break of 360. Now it is a earnings winner, so it could definitely have that potential to run. So the low is 331, high is 342. Thinking of jumping in here. Yeah, that was a good entry. 343 would have been a good entry. Now it's coming up. I'll still see if it can break that 360. See, the entry of 343 that I was looking for was a good entry. Okay, it might break 360. Okay, I tried jumping in, didn't get filled there. So I'm just removing my order. So the entry of 343 was actually perfect. I just kind of hesitated on that, but which is okay. I just wasn't sure if it'll bring this much volume in right away, which it did. So we're just keep an eye on it for now. ZSAN is running. Now this could definitely run. We just have to wait for a pullback. I would love to wait for a pullback on this. Not gonna jump in even if it breaks 380 now without a pullback. What I want to see is I want to see a nice pullback and then a push towards that $4 mark. So we're just gonna be watching here. Yeah, this is alright guys, so I'm still, it's almost 10 a.m. So half an hour into the market open, and I haven't made any trades so far. Nothing that I see that I like, or nothing that's setting up the way I like. Couple things here and there, popping, but nothing that's catching my eye. MYOS is another one. It is running, just randomly popped up. It's the one that makes moves, or major moves, has in the past. Now, so it's one that's kind of there, but it's just like right now the spread's a bit wide on it, and I feel like it already made this move. If I was to get in on the break of 450, I don't know if it will have anything left in it. I mean, it could push towards 5. But other than that, I mean, I'm not just gonna take a trade just to take a trade. If I don't feel comfortable with it, I'm just gonna stay on the sideline. And with this one, I really don't feel much comfortable. There's the, let's see if it can take out 450 here. Oh, 450 might get taken out. There you go. There's 459. Wow. But again, yeah, this, you know, based on the spread and everything, I just didn't feel comfortable. Ideal entry on this would have been on this 1 minute candle here, 439, and then look for the break of this. But again, I didn't think it had that potential. It just kind of popped up, and you know, traders are gonna jump in when they see, you know, other things are not moving. So the first thing to kind of start moving, traders are gonna start jumping in. I saw this when it was already in the 440s, and then it, you know, had this big red candle. So I just kind of was like, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, even here, as you guys can see, you know, it got pushed all the way up to 460, but it wasn't strong enough, and it just basically on that candle where it took out, you know, a big buyer at 450, or a big seller, sorry, at 450, it just didn't have enough strength in it for it to hold that. So if I was to get in at 450, you know, pushes to 460, and quickly now it's down in the 440s. So that's one reason I didn't get in, just because I feel like it's just few traders are jumping in, and you know, they, as soon as other people see, they start jumping in, but then people start selling, and it just won't have the strength that I think I kind of need today for the kind of stock that I'm looking for. It just, this one didn't fit in the criteria. So the other one I'm watching is ZSAN. It did have a news out today regarding their I guess it's if I'm not mistaken, it is a healthcare. Yeah, it was regarding one of their drugs that they basically got good results of the trials or the studies or whatever. But as you guys can see, it did make some moves, you know, on the in the 1 minute in the beginning this morning. You know, on this right here, the first candle to make a new high on the push, 219, you know, jumping in around there, and then it just goes straight up to 270. But after that, it's just been downtrending. So I was looking for a 5-minute setup on this around this area. Let me bring it close, just around this area, but no luck there. Now I just feel like there's a lot of sellers are coming in. That's pushing the stock down. I mean, the stock just made a lower low. You know, in the morning the low was 202, and this one is 201. So right now it's at 201. If it breaks 2, you know, it's just gonna drop. Basically, as you guys can see, there's a big gap here. So if it breaks 2, you know, it has a gap to like 150 basically, with no with nothing in middle here. So as you guys can see, maybe, you know, to 170s, but with this big, you know, huge red day, buyers are just not really gonna come in. You know, the strength seems to be in the seller's hand now, so we're just gonna stay away from this as well. Sino was the one we were watching this morning, and as you guys can see, you know, I wanted to jump in first for the break of 380. But then in the morning at the market open, it dipped, and then it started coming back up at 343. If you guys go back to the beginning of the video, you guys will see I changed my order to 343, and I was very ready to press buy, because I wanted to get in here on this dip buy for this earnings winner, and I felt like it would have been a good ideal entry. You know, get in at 343, set my stop below this 331. You know, and 330 would be my stop. You know, 13 cents stop, with a potential of going up to back to 380 as it did, or you know, even breaking 380 and going up to 4. So very good entry point here, which I was looking for. But thinking back, I do think this little move right here that happened was because of a either one of the, you know, the chat room person probably bought this, and that pumped it up because it had no follow through. So usually when a stock, you know, quickly spikes up but then has zero follow through, most likely is because, you know, one of the gurus in the chat rooms and stuff usually buy this, and you know, they send out an alert, and then all the subscribers jump in and they buy this, and then it makes this one, you know, quick push, you know, few minutes push up to the highs, whatever, and then the guru, quote unquote, starts selling. Once it hits some sort of resistance level or whatever, they start selling, and then they send out an alert, and then everyone else sells, and then you get this big drop from the 380s down to the 350s. Now, obviously, if the stock did this on its own, where all the other traders were jumping in, it would have a good pullback. It would have some sort of a pullback and another point, another 1 minute candle entry, or maybe a 5 minute setup. But this stock does not have to have any of that. So my guess is this little push right here was just due to a chat room pump, and then it just crashed. MYOS again popped up. Now, as you guys can see, if I did get in on the break of 450, it wasn't a good entry or a good setup, just because I feel like it's just running because traders are jumping in, but then also people are selling into any spikes. So for that reason, I'm just kind of staying on the sideline today. Nothing's in my scanners or anywhere that seems like it's worth trading today. Days like this, you don't need to jump in onto anything. It's just better if you watch. Tomorrow, rest of the week, we might get some momentum in one of these stocks where we'll get a nice 5 minute or a 1 minute setup, and then that's when I can be aggressive, and then look to take meat of the move on those plays. But being on the sidelines today just protects me from unnecessary losses, and I'm okay with that. It's something I'm still working on, and as a new trader, guys, it's very, very hard to control that, because even right now I feel like I need to make a trade. I feel like if I don't make a trade, I'm not doing my job, right? Because I'm sharing the screen, people are going to watch these videos, and there's not going to be any trades, right? And people are going to be like, what the hell, this guy's not trading, he's not doing his job. But as a trader, sometimes your job is to know when to stay out of the markets, and today I just feel like it's one of those days where none of the stocks are having any follow through. Sino was a good play in that first move, but then after that it has zero follow through, zero setup. It would have been nice to see this break 380, pull back, maybe to the 350s, 360s, and then starts running again for that push of 4. That would have been an ideal. That would have showed strength. That would have showed bulls are in this for to push the stocks above 4. And then if it goes above 4, then we're looking for a 455 or whatever, right? But once we couldn't get that and it just got pushed down, it's it means that there's not enough buyers in the market today. Not enough buyers are looking to buy. So people are just kind of quick pops and then sell-offs. So anyways, guys, I think for now I'm done. Like I said, I don't see anything that I like trading so far. So I'm not just gonna sit around and look for plays, because that's never the best way to do. You always want to wait for the plays to come to you, and the only way that happens is when you're just relaxed and you're just scoping for your favorite setups. My favorite setup, 5 minute setup, 1 minute setup, and I'm as long as I'm looking for those, and once I find those, and once I find it, I feel comfortable, my risk is low, this will be a good entry point, then I can go aggressive. In those plays I can just be aggressive, and let the play develop. Basically, another thing I wanted to talk about is what I'm working on starting this week is I won't be doing I won't be doing selling some position. So I'm gonna look to lock in all the profits at once, just because, guys, I buy small shares. So if I'm buying 300-400 shares and I sell half at 10 cent or 15 cent profit, it's just not enough. And then most likely the other half, either I'm breaking even, or I'm selling in with a few cents loss, or I'm selling it with a few cent gain, but overall that profit is not enough. So let's say if I have 400 shares and the stock moves 30 cents, I could sell that full 400 shares and lock in $120 versus selling 200 shares and locking in $60 and then having that stock retrace and then getting out, maybe break even. So rather than just locking in $60, and because I also have to think my fees, right? So on those 400s, I'm buying and selling, I'm basically paying $8 in total for fees. So if I lock in $60, let's say, and then the other 200 I'm break even, and I pay the fees and stuff, I'm only walking away with $52 in profit, right, after fees. But if similar situation happens where I end up losing, most of the times when I lose the whole position. I don't lose the partial position. I lose the whole position. So what happens if I lose 30 cents on a stock? I just I lose $120 plus the fees. So in a way I lose $128. So I did some math and I just kind of realized that for smaller positions, once I'm at that level where I'm buying 2,000-3,000 shares, and if it moves 10-20 cents and I sell 1,000 shares, or I sell half or 1,500 shares or whatever, that's a good profit, because then I'm locking in about $200-300 in profits, and then I have another 1,000-2,000 shares outstanding. And then even if I break even on those, I still locked in $300-400 or $200 in profit. So with 300, 400, 500 shares, I think it's just better for me to wait for the 10, 20, 30 cent move. Even if I take 20 cent move consistently, on my full position, that's a lot better than me locking in smaller gains throughout the way, unless the stock is moving crazy, unless it jumps 50 cents in a minute, or a point, $1 in a minute. Then I can be like, okay, you know what, I bought 400 shares, it just jumped 50 cents or $1. Let me sell half, and then I'll wait to see if it can go higher for my other half, right? Because then I'm locking in about $200, right? And I'm okay with that. But me locking in $50, $60, $20, $30, I realize that when I lose, I'm losing the whole share position, and that share position costs me more than me selling partial positions throughout the way to lock in some profits. It's a very good strategy if you have a bigger account and if you're dealing with bigger sizes. But for smaller accounts, smaller size, I think it's very ideal for me to lock in the full profit right off the bat, even if it's 20 cents, 30 cents, on 400, 500, 200, 300 shares versus 100 shares selling, and then selling 100 shares for 10 cents. That's $10, right? Whereas me selling 400 shares at 10 cents, that's $40. So I just have to that's something I'm going to work on. Just look to lock in full profits and then go from there. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys made it this far, that means you guys like the content I have and the things I talk about, and hopefully they help you in some way or another. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you check back. I post videos Monday to Friday every day, so be sure to check back, and also let me know if you guys have any questions. Leave a comment. Let me know what I can work on. Let me know what needs to improve. I'm always looking to improve. That's one thing that I pride myself in. I'm always looking to improve. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of the week. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow morning, and hopefully tomorrow morning we'll have better setups, better entries, better better plays. So we'll wait for that. For now, guys, have a great day.